Okay, it's Friday, February 11th. I just wanted to shoot a quick video on DraftKings here. I'm just browsing a bunch of charts and I see something that just looks pretty interesting in terms of the analysis going on, why it would have been a good trade this morning, why I think there was a really good exit point, and why maybe this is an area where we're going to pause for a little bit. I traded a bunch of other stocks today. I guess I wish I would have, followed this one a little more closely, just in terms of the initial trade on the day, given the context in play. In other words, what's going up here on the daily chart, what's going on here is price has been kind of grinding higher in the last few weeks. On the weekly chart, you can see here after a big decline, you had the little reversal bar. So to broaden out higher after this low, you're going to have to take out the high of this red bar, which price has done. And then obviously the next target once you get there is the high of this red bar if it wants to continue higher. And typically after you have a big decline like this, you're not going to get an immediate straight push up. If anything, the thing you're going to look for is a V bottom where it kind of comes down, gives you that V action here, then goes sideways for a little bit. Then if we break higher, I might see all these other targets being hit. But in terms of the first move of the day, off the lows, what you have is just looking for initial broadening action. And what you have here on the daily chart, what I'm just seeing now as I analyze it, this was kind of the first push you're looking for to broaden out, somewhere to take out stops, with all this down red action. And it took out, from the bottom, it took out this one, this one, this one, this one. And this was the blue line was the last one here to take out. Actually, there are two more, but what I'm showing you here is there's a pretty big gap now up here to take out the next bar. And you got this little, that's kind of the target area, in other words, in between. Once you're taking out, these are all next to each other, then this one has a big gap. So to me, that should be an area where this whole weekly broadening action should stall out and then start the sideways action, maybe even moving lower again. And if it does move sideways, that will be a good sign for continuation higher. If it really wants to break down in the weeks ahead, then you might be broadening all the way back to test those lows again. But in terms of today, so knowing that that was kind of the target, to go back to the daily chart, this final broadening action up here after this move up, today what you had, and that's that blue line, you had a nice 15-minute open here, green bar that you could have bought on the second bar here moving up, and that would have given you a good point up to that 23.75 up to 24.75. And if you notice, that's the exact area we hit, and now we're pausing. So I'm not necessarily saying to go short here. It's a definite spot, in my opinion, to exit any long trades. We'll see. What's interesting, truthfully, if it does come up here and fail a little bit and maybe form a 2-down bar on the 15 chart or on the hourly chart, it could be a decent short for just a little short-term play. But I'll see in the days ahead, what happens. Again, I expect it to kind of this be the top for a little while. There should be a pullback, and then the key will be on this weekly chart. Do we just kind of go sideways for a few? If it does pull back for a little while without breaking down much, that will be a good sign we'll continue higher. So anyway, the main thing is to show you how when you look at targets, you can kind of look back on the chart and look for those areas where the broadening action might stall out. And then you could use those targets, on an opening trade. If you're reaching, if you see that final area that should be reached and you have a good price action, you kind of know you have a window from here up to here. So we'll see what happens on DraftKings. Again, just analyzing a whole bunch of stocks this morning, and this was one that it kind of stood out to me, the various things I just pointed out.